Being able to afford large purchases can be difficult, especially if you're on a low income. But if you're frugal, sometimes you can tuck away some little bits here and there and add up over time to be able to do some things. I'm a big believer in being able to pay for any renovations to my house before I contract them being done. I don't want a home improvement loan. I don't want a 12 months same as cash. I don't want any of that. I want to make sure I can pay for it before I get the contractor in here. It's difficult to get a contractor out here. As you know, I live about an hour from the city, and you would think that I live like in western Kansas in the middle of nowhere because I have such trouble getting anyone out here to even give me a bid. In fact, sometimes they want to charge me a trip charge just to give me a bid. And my husband's philosophy is we're not paying someone to tell us how much we have to pay them. So we don't do that. But I found a local contractor after several years of research. We're going to get some things done to the house, and I'm going to share with you today what we're going to get done, what we've already done, and talk a little bit about saving for those big purchases. I hope you will stick around. Hi, I'm Bonita and I am early retired. I'm not old enough yet for Social Security. I'm living on a low income and I am living off of savings. I live in Kansas on a farm and I have a donkey. This is Brownie. I have frugal videos all year round, and I hope that you will join me this year as we share ways to save money and live our dreams. Sometimes when we're trying to save, it feels like it's two steps forward, one step back. And that's the way it has felt to me lately. In fact, the other day I was coming home from my daughter's and I got broadsided by a deer. I didn't hit the deer hit me. And that's happened to me, I think, 3 times, and it's happened to my husband 1 time. That they actually run out of the ditch, don't stop, and hit you broadside. And he broke my rear view mirror. He hit me right on the rear view mirror and busted it, and I have to get that repaired. So it's $265, not a huge amount of money, but when you're counting your pennies and your dollars, $265 can set you back when you've been trying to save little bits to do something bigger. And I've been trying to save to get some renovations done to my house for quite a few years. I just haven't been able to get anyone out here to do it. But I finally found a local contractor. I got some other bids, and the bids for the windows that they gave me cost as much for one window as she's going to do 5. Now, some people may say, get what you pay for, but here's the deal. She also buys things on the cheap to do her renovation business. Now, the nice thing is she's passing that savings on to me. She could hike up the prices and charge me a lot more than she's charging me, but she's not doing that. Now, this company that I had come out that would charge as much for one window as she is for 5 says they have a guarantee for 50 years for 2 of your descendants past you to take on that guarantee. So they would guarantee those windows for my lifetime and 50 years of 2 more ownerships after me. But as my husband said, why do we care about that? We're not going to be here anymore. And if our kids get this house, they might do something totally different. We're paying extra money for that guarantee. And he's absolutely right, because while that guy was here, he also told me they used to do siding and they had this phenomenal guarantee, and it just about ran them out of business. So they stopped doing siding because they were coming out and replacing things so often that it was costing them too much money. So those are just some inside things when you're dealing with contractors to think about. What is the guarantee? How important is it to you to have that guarantee? And if that guarantee extends 2 more lifetimes? And I don't want to take up much time, but I am going to make this statement for those that are going to put in the comments, well, you have a husband. This is my house. We've only been married not even 12 years. He moved in with me. I pay for any renovations and I insist on doing it myself. So there's my little disclaimer for those of you that will say, well, you have a husband. So here we go. But on to the renovations. I'm so excited about this. My kids are excited about this. They've been wanting me to get some things done for a while, but it's been so hard to find anyone. So now let me tell you a little bit about my house.
This house was built before indoor plumbing, before electricity, and before the Great Depression. I live in a home that was built in 1907, making it 118 years old. It was built on sandstone. That sandstone has since crumbled away. I've had to replace the kitchen floor that fell through and replace that with cement. We have also raised this upper bedroom here because it was all slanted where you would bang your head. This part of the house is still slanted ceilings. I have replaced a bathtub a couple of times. We've put in a walk-in shower. Now we are getting ready to replace 5 of the worst original windows that were single pane and rope pulley, and the sills are rotting out. And we're also going to replace 2 of the worst floors in a bottom bedroom and the living room floor. The house has been added on to several times, including this back bedroom here that we're looking at. And these are the original metal canopies that came with some of the windows. I don't have enough to go over all of the windows. Maybe it's because the house has been added on to several times, but they really do help on the windows that they're over for shade and to help cool the house. I also replaced the roof, putting on a metal roof. You can see up here where the roof is slanted still. And this is what we've been having to do in the wintertime, cover everything with plastic. So I will be happy to see the 5 worst windows go so that we don't have to do that anymore and they will be well sealed. This front room here is where you see me video most often. I spend most of my time in this room because I love the natural light, and we will be replacing this window with the partial plastic here to the left. And we had enclosed this. It happened to be a front porch at one time, but we enclosed it and made it into a small office for me. Small kitchen window actually had the floor crumble under it at the base as well. And so I had it dug out and we put cement in there to support the wall. At one time, my kitchen floor actually fell through and I had it replaced with cement, and then I painted it and added these speckles to make it look like it was linoleum.
So as I sit here eating my egg salad sandwich, you all know I do things to save money all week long. And so I do this so I can save for things when I do need to purchase them. And you may have caught this is a female construction company, and she's local, and she lives in a house that was built in 1912, which gave me even more confidence in her abilities. Once I became debt-free before I retired, which was my first huge goal to even taking this step, I decided then I was not going to go into debt again because I wanted to make sure I could stay retired. That's why I make sure I have the money ahead of time to do anything I need to do. Another perk of going with a private contractor for me is I pay cash. So I'm going to write her a check for this, and I'm getting this tremendous discount. I don't think she even takes credit. I don't think she has any finance companies, while this other place has finance companies. And when I asked them what they would give me as a discount for cash, it was only $500. for joining me today, talking about my house renovations from my house from 1907. I hope you found this interesting. Houses can be expensive, even if they're new. There's always things that need to be done when you are a home owner. And some of these older homes require some of these upgrades and require some renovations that you may not need with a newer home. But I love the character. I love the history. I love that I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, that I have privacy. I love everything about old country homes. And so I hope you have enjoyed this little walkthrough time with me. And I hope that you will join me in the next video. Thanks for being here today.